What's up, everybody? Good evening, good afternoon. African Superstar family in the house is the one and only African Superstar with the Unpopular Opinions live. Now, I know you guys are not going to like this Unpopular Opinions, but that is what it's all about. Big shout outs to the customers at afrikansuperstar.com. Please make sure you stop by my website and check out my proprietary merchandise. Also, big shout outs to our members only who are represented by the circle next to their name. And also, big shout outs to those of you that have been contributing to our music. Yes, you guys know, obviously, I'm dropping my latest video momentarily. I'm just waiting to get the finished version from the videographer, but I did release a teaser yesterday for those of you that have yet to see any of the footage from the video. Members only are also getting a preview of the rough draft of the video. And so that's what's going on in current events. What's up, guys? If you're here, please make sure you leave me something in the chat. This is subscriber only. So in order to leave messages, you will need to be subscribed to the channel. And also, please, for all my moderators, those of you with the wrench, make sure you give me the like count. You should be able to see the like counts. We need to make sure that the like counts are getting up. That way we can have our engagement, okay? So today I want to talk about this topic, unpopular opinions. Okay. Africans ignore the danger in America to avoid responsibility at home. Okay. So again, I know this is going to be a controversial topic, but I'm going to talk about it. And what actually motivated this was a post that I put on my Facebook. I always tell you guys, if you get onto my other social media avenues, then you get to engage a bit more with me around, and whatnot. So there's a really hilarious post that I found in one of my, hundreds of groups that I'm a part of. And it was kind of like a rating for the U.S. And it said United States of America, and it had 1 star. And it said very ghetto, will not recommend, right? So it's kind of like a Trivago recommendation kind of thing. And so I posted it to my page, obviously. And, my page, I have over 4,000 friends. I have close to maybe 1,500 people that follow me. So, I have a pretty big, set of eyes watching. And it's really interesting because obviously I have people from around the world. I have, diasporans, I have continentals, I have African migrants, and I have people in Europe, I have people in America. So it's always interesting to see what it is. Now, the majority of people that commented on that status said, yeah, they agree. The U.S. is definitely not safe, going down. There were, however, a few people that are like, no, I love America. It's my home. It's the best country in the world, blah, blah, blah. And one of those people happens to be a friend of mine, a Nigerian that lives in Ohio. And she said, I love America regardless. It is what it is. And I think that many Africans ignore the extenuating, danger in the West, because ignoring it and pretending like, yeah, you're living in a safe place, you're living in the best country in the world and all that stuff, it kind of absolves you as to what is happening in your homeland. Because the question, for instance, that many of us diasporans have had to ask ourselves is, we see what's happening in the West, okay? We've come to the conclusion it's no longer safe for us and our families. And basically recognizing that and acknowledging that is a call to action. Yes. So if you refuse to admit that, there's no call to action. The migrant that finally comes to consensus that, wow, America's not what I thought it was, Europe's not what I thought it was, the next mode of action is, okay, how am I going to deal with that? And you see that many people, many African migrants that have had that realization, they come to the conclusion that, I'm going to roll the dice and go back home. Because why should I be here in a foreign land putting up with foreign politics that don't have nothing to do with me? And what I see is, even here, I mean, obviously the continentals don't really know the depth of what is happening in the West. but they refuse to accept, you know, the dysfunctional and detrimental parts and the dangerous parts of the West, because again, that absolves them from their responsibility here. Because see, when we realize and we come to the conclusion that, oh, it's not safe for us in the West, we got to consider alternative options, then that puts the spotlight on our homeland, obviously. And it puts some responsibility on us. Okay, we know, okay, if I go back to Ghana, these are some of the problems. There's infrastructure problems. There's electricity. There's this, there's that. You know, how is it going to get fixed? You know, and more importantly, how are we going to be a part of that solution? And that's what a lot of people don't want to be like. You see, if they can keep pretending, keep acting like it's not really a thing, then they don't have to be responsible. They don't have to look back at their homeland and look at the circumstances there and ask themselves, how can they be, you know, a part of perhaps the improvement of their nations. Big shout out to the African Superstar family. Guys, if you're here, leave me something in the chat. This is Unpopular Opinions Live. Okay, this is also subscriber only. So please, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Stop coming and watching me without being subscribed, okay? It's irresponsible, and I'm calling you to action. I'm not a statue. I'm a human being, and the least that you can do is, you know, be interactive up on this platform. Hello. All right, Mel B says, my fiance is African, and I told him I prefer to live my golden years abroad, where retirement will go further and home assistance is easier and cheaper. He's not interested. I'm still keeping my plan. You know, and I mean, there's a lot that goes into this whole like Western image. You know, I think the pride that many migrants have, which is not wanting to admit, you know, it's seen to be a privilege here on the continent for those that travel. So they don't want to admit, yeah, it's not working out. And so many people are faking it till they make it. You know, don't get me wrong. You may have an opportunity to get, you know, a financial, you know, boost or whatever. You may be able to go to school for certain programs and all of that. But, you know, the thing is, we don't, as Africans especially, we do not value our emotional health or safety. All we care about is working. If bullets are flying in the streets in the U.S. as they are, what good is working if you're going to be dead? If you have no liberty, if you have no freedom. And the cognitive dissonance is crazy because people are living, for instance, in the West, and they're not even paying attention to what's going on. They just feel like, well, that has nothing to do with me. And the things that are happening are random ass things that are happening. Okay, you know, Sarah C, that's in here, big shout out to my moderators. She's in New York, and she constantly sends me stories from New York of all kind of random violence that's happening. You know, there was a news article that said that violence in the subways is up 65% this year. Okay, there's been people that have been pushed on the tracks. There's been shootings in the subway trains. There's been altercations on the platforms and all this kind of stuff. And our people want to keep acting like, well, that has nothing to do with me. Okay, if you've ever taken public transportation in your life, let me see a number one in the chat room. Okay, big shout out to the African Superstar family. If you've ever taken public transportation in your life, let me see a number one. Because I want to drive home that, you know, the circumstances that are happening in your environment are very important. And you should be paying attention to them. And the circumstances that are happening in your environment are not respective to any one person. At least Sarah takes public transport or has taken. Me as well. Okay, obviously, the entire time I lived in the UK, I was taking public transportation. I was taking the trains, on occasion buses, whatnot. You don't know who the hell you're on the train with. Do you know how many backpacks you see on the train when you go? Do you have x-ray vision? Do you know the mental state of those people? I'm pretty sure all those people that recently got shot up on that train in New York, when they entered the subway, they didn't know that the guy, you know, there was a dangerous person on their train. But our people want to ignore all that. They want to ignore that and say, no, 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 Gina, America's still this and America's still that. The reason is because for them to address their homeland, they gotta hold some kind of responsibility. And my thing is, like, we put in tremendous effort to try to matriculate in the West. We put in insurmountable efforts, guys. We spend years and lots of money to travel to the West, to live in the West. Some people, when they migrate to the West, they have to go back to school and all this kind of stuff. Immigration, okay? We do all of that to be there. While our homelands are suffering, while our homelands are going through what they're going through, and people are just pointing the fingers at the leaders. Okay? This is why many Africans ignore the danger in America. They don't want to be held responsible for the fact that many things are happening in their homelands. And I'm a firm believer that the diaspora of any nation can be a huge investor into that nation. Okay? Obviously, you may go through some hoops and hiccups, as you try to, register your business or, erect your property or do land deals and all that stuff. But if people are still consciously choosing, what, I'm going to use my investment at home, I'm going to start this business at home, you're going to see the improvement of that nation. Ghana is one of those places. Okay? Ghana is not growing and booming solely because of its government. No, Ghana is booming and growing because of their diaspora. Okay? Their diaspora is coming home and starting business. Their diaspora is building properties. Their diaspora is bringing in resources. Okay? It's not all relative to the government. And what that means is the energy that we exert in the West, if we put even a fraction of that onto our homelands, we could see some growth and progress. Yes. But to sit high and mighty in the West and then judging your homelands while you have not made any efforts there is wrong. And it's irresponsible. And that's why people rather cope with racism in the West. I mean, a lot of us have probably, obviously Sarah's one of my Facebook friends. So she can see my, the topics on my page and some of the people that comment. It's interesting. Our people will endure a lot of things in the West, all to avoid their homeland. And I just think to myself, I live here in Ghana. Is Ghana that bad? I don't get, where racism and violence abounds in the West. It's very evident to me the West is just not safe. But our people ignore it because of money. But I just want to publicly say you can't make money if you're dead. It's over. You catch a stray bullet up in your behind, it's over. It's a wrap. You get into it with the police officer or something, it's all right. There is even actually a story, I shared it on my wall on Facebook, about a 10-year-old girl who shot and killed a woman who was getting into an altercation with her mother over Memorial Day weekend. This was in Florida. Okay? A 10-year-old child killed someone. You see, these are the kind of things that you're dealing with. And guess what? That 10-year-old, any of you guys might have 10-year-olds. Guess what? That 10-year-old could have potentially been a student beside your child. Instead of her not getting involved in adult affairs, why her mom was fighting this lady, I don't know. But was that severe enough for her to, and how does she know how to shoot a gun? How does she know how to do that stuff at 10 years old? And people see, I'm not a reactive person. I'm a proactive person. Okay. So unlike many people, I don't want to be crying in the end about what happened. Okay. I want to take note of what is happening and go ahead and make my S&P strategic moves and avoid the danger ahead of me. You see, because the fact that scenarios like this are happening speaks a lot to, like I discussed in a previous live, the thought process of problem resolution in the West. You see, that little girl felt like, okay, this lady's fighting my mom, I should kill her. That little girl knew how to operate a gun. That little girl wasn't even scared and didn't even hesitate. She's killed an adult now, and she's 10 years old. And this is the environment that you're existing in, and you want to act like it's all good. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I'm not sorry, but Ghana is better than that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Even with our politics, even with our dodgy government, even with our rough roads and electricity, Ghana is better than that. I don't have no qualms that a 10-year-old child will pull out a gun on me out here in these streets like that. Big shout outs to the African Superstar family. Guys, if you're here, leave me something in the chat room. This is subscriber only. So make sure you're subscribed if you know, so you can leave your message. Okay, because I'm trying to get the channel pumped up and I just need y'all to be on board. You come here and watch me all the time. Just go ahead, family. Just go ahead. Leave me something in the chat. Sarah says, I don't use the subway anymore, but I use the rails and the buses. The subway is a war zone. It's so discouraging. I would be discouraged too. You know, I actually love taking, as we call it in London, the underground. I think it's very convenient. You know what I mean? It's stress-free. You don't have to worry about parking. You know, a lot of times you don't have to worry about traffic. You can actually get to your destination, you know, pretty consistently. You know, I mean, it would be, if I had to utilize public transportation every day and all these incidents happening, you know, it's an inconvenience. Either I'm going to have to start walking more places or take a bike to more places or get a car or take taxis. And all of those things are not as convenient as the train. But, you know, it's so dangerous right now. New York City, subway crime up 65%. Big shout outs to the African Superstar family. What's up, Jessica Jess? I see you there. Thanks for stopping by. Please make sure that you hit the likes. Superstar Bella says Africans ignore a lot of things. For weeks, the U.S. was telling people to get out of Ukraine. What did the Africans do? They stayed and got mistreated. That's true. That's true. You know, the cognitive dissonance about the West and the opportunities that the West provides is so deeply ingrained in Africans that, you know, many of them feel like, you know, it's just the golden goose to be in the West. And even when they get mistreated or they get discriminated on or they suffer, you know, they still justify, well, it's still better than being back home. I just want to say public, it's not. Okay. The racism and the violence that you face in America, it's dangerous and it has no name. And when they see us, they see Black people. Hello. Okay. They see Black people. They don't see different tribes. They don't know who you are. When they hear your accent, maybe, you know, maybe they'll realize that you're foreign. But guess what? If you're second generation and you have an American accent, they don't even know who you are. They're going to think, oh, you know, that Nigerian teenager, that's a Black American. That Ghanaian teenager, that's a Black American. That South African, you know, teenager, that's a Black American. They don't differentiate. And that's something else, you know, African migrants, they don't understand that. You know, they don't understand that when they raise children in America, they're going to be seen as American, Black American. And that puts them in the same category because in many cases, Africans feel like, well, you know, the Black Americans are responsible for, you know, their situations. They're responsible for their police brutality. They don't just do what they're supposed to do and blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? When you have children in the West and they grow up there, the world will see them as a Black American. How do I know? Because it's my situation. Imagine growing up in America, having foreign parents, and you're still seen as American. Okay? Because of your accent, because of the way that you talk. And what that means is you still are subject to what goes on with Black Americans. You know, and so I personally believe this is it. You know, people can't act like it's all good in America still. You know, they can act like it's all good in Europe still because they don't want to have any responsibility in their homeland. But I also want to say for the record, I'm sorry, but that's kind of stupid. Sorry, because foreigners are coming here and enterprising in your very backyard. And meanwhile, you're out there in the West, you know, living that life, okay? And then other people are taking advantage of the opportunities in your backyard. And actually, if you are a migrant, you have the ability, you know, perhaps if your immigration is sorted out, you can travel like other foreigners. You have access to the foreign currency like the foreigners. And a lot of times you have the benefit of whatever assets you have here, which is something that the diaspora and other foreigners don't have. You see? So let's say your parents have lands for you. Okay? When diasporans come to the continent, they have to kind of go through the process. Okay, they have to sort out their immigration. It's not advised that they buy lands and they're not a resident or not a citizen. So they have to get that together, blah, blah, blah. Some of you guys as migrants or children of migrants, you have lands here. Okay, so that's already one hurdle that you don't have to go through. All right. You know the cultural norms. You know the language. Okay. We don't know the language. Some people don't know the cultural norms, which means you kind of have a leg up when you're ready to do something here. Because that's a step. Those are steps that the other foreigners got to deal with or take or consider that you don't have to. You know, and I think it's crazy to let other people capitalize and benefit more in my homeland than me. So let me get this straight. I'm a Ghanaian living and working in the UK in America. Okay. I'm living struggle life. Okay. I'm working every day. I'm tired. I have all this, you know, financial responsibilities, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Meanwhile, the Chinese dude is in Ghana living it up. And the Black American is in Ghana living it up. And the German is in Ghana living it up while I'm out in the West doing, you know, 9 to 5. And I'm in America doing the American dream. I mean, it doesn't make sense. If anybody should be eating and benefiting in a nation, it should be the indigenous people to that nation. Okay? Just like anybody else in the world. All right? If you go to China, nobody is going to be benefiting more in China than the Chinese man. Okay? They won't even let you get lands or properties, from what I understand, start businesses. They give all the advantages to their own people. Because what Africans don't realize is while you guys are busy out there chilling in the West, you know, and other people are encroaching and infiltrating in your homelands, pretty soon, what's going to happen? Huh? Trivia question. If we don't establish ourselves in our homelands, what's going to happen to them? Superstar Bella says, if everyone leaves, who is going to stay and build? Somebody has to stay. You can't just abandon your whole country to chase those Hollywood movie dreams. Big shout out to Superstar Bella. Family, get on code. What's up? Where are y'all at? Where are y'all at? I just asked a trivia question. Okay. What happens? What's going to happen to our homeland if we don't establish ourselves here? You see, this is one of the reasons why the diaspora is passionate about returning to the continent, because they know what it's like to live in nations where you have no competitive advantage. Okay. There's no Black states in America. Okay. There may be cities where there's a high Black population. Okay. But there's no designated state. You know, few Black owned businesses. The Black family is under attack. You know, for Black Americans to be present in the nation for centuries, their imprint, unfortunately, is very minimal. And that's why it's important for us to make sure we retain our homelands as much as possible. Because guess what? If they come here and they start occupying our homeland, we will have nowhere globally to go. will be foreigners worldwide, even in our own countries. Sarah C says the locals will get priced out. Absolutely. In other words, gentrification. That's already occurring here in Accra. A lot of these developers, they're building luxury houses and luxury apartments and all this kind of stuff that the local person could never afford. And they're actually pricing them in dollars. So it's very obvious who they're catering their market to. And Ghanaians abroad, maybe they should make sure they buy those things or occupy those things. Because in 20 years, Ghana will be like South Africa. And if you haven't been to South Africa, there is really a racial divide. Okay. There's cities like Johannesburg where the population is obviously primarily Black. And there's places like Cape Town where the whites live. And Cape Town happens to be one of the most scenic places in South Africa. And it's also one of the most expensive places. White people are known for making things expensive to basically segregate because they know, the locals can't afford it or whatever. Okay. You also have another city called Durban in South Africa, which is where the Indian community has their settlement and taken over and all that. And from what I learned, the Chinese also have a community in South Africa, and they have their own police district. You see, these are the kind of things that's on the table for our people while you're busy kicking it out in the West, being irresponsible. You don't want to own or take any responsibility for your homeland, so you want to act like it's all good. Don't be stupid. It's not all good in America, and it's showing. The issues in America have gotten so grand that they are now showing to the world. It's one thing that you could pretend when we didn't have social media and all this kind of stuff. So basically the mainstream media could conceal a lot of stuff and still project this image they want. But the America that they keep projecting is not synonymous with the real one. Okay? And the real one is danger. Danger! Superstar Bella says, this is also to my trivia question. They will colonize it again. Okay? Let's be real. Non-Black people don't know how to act. And they love power. They love conquest. That's what gets them hype. You think when their populations start growing here on the continent, and their ownership and their lands and their businesses, that they won't get it cracking the same way in the West? They absolutely will. And everybody thinks it's a joke. Oh, well, we have huge populations on the continent. If we're not strategic about the direction of our populations, guys, we will get reduced. We will get eliminated. Okay? The Black Americans, use them as a case study. Matter of fact, use Black people globally as a case study. Look at how they struggle in these Western environments. Look at how they struggle. Look at how they struggle. Socially, emotionally, health-wise, psychologically, romantically, parenting, culturally. Look at these elements and realize, hey, hello, it's not that far away from the continent. If we don't protect our interests here, these things will come here. It's inevitable. Big shout outs to the African Superstar family. What's up, Jarena Star? See you there. This is subscriber only. So if you're not subscriber, get to be subscriber. Just hit the subscriber button. I'm talking about this unpopular opinion. A lot of Africans are ignoring, the reality of the West to avoid responsibility in their homelands. Because again, if they come to the consensus that, okay, this place is not what I thought it was. Okay. It's not a safe place. The future doesn't look promising here. The next thing is, okay, well, what am I going to do? And where am I going to go? Where can I go? And if you are choosing to come to the continent, that comes with its own set of responsibilities, because you know that, okay, I have to facilitate this. Hello, can we get the lights up? I'll wait. This is absolutely ridiculous. Let's get the lights up right now. Because I'm not a statue. Let's get the lights up. Let me know when the lights get up to 10, please. Unbelievable. Big shout outs to the Afrikansuperstar family. What's up? What's up? What's up? Hit the like button right now. We're on a pause until the family gets on code. There is no link during the store. I'm not. I'll put the link in there when the channel gets up to 10 likes. I'll put the link in there when the channel gets up to 10 likes because I'm not having it today. So I personally went in and made sure the settings was there so we could see the likes. So y'all need to be on code today. I let y'all slip some days. Today's not the day. Brown Coat Blue says, why do you think these people working so hard to eliminate malaria? Absolutely. They're preparing the continent for their own interests and tastes and needs. Our people are acting like it's a game. Nah, Gina, if they wanted to eliminate us, they could just do it. They could just do this, that, blah, blah, blah. They're doing it by design strategically. Okay, as they operate. Sarah, let me see that like count. What is the like count looking like now? Because yeah. I would say if you can't give me a like, then I don't know why you're watching the show. Hello? Hit the like. We waiting on the likes to get up to 10, and then I'm going to open up the call lines. Jarena Star has something related to talk about. You know, and this is my personal opinion. And again, this was kind of motivated by the post that I posted up, which many people. Is this still right? So we only have 5 likes. Is that right? Okay, well, the stream might just come to an end because y'all, if I'm going to give y'all 2 minutes, let's get it up to 10. If it don't get up to 10, we end in this stream. I'm not playing games with y'all today. I'm tired. I'm tired, man. I had a long day and y'all can't follow simple directions. And, you know, honestly. Yeah, I need them up to 10. So we're on a brief commercial break until y'all get the likes up. Okay? Commercial break. I'll go ahead and run a couple adverts for y'all. Give you an opportunity to just click the like. All right. Okay, I think it's gotten updated. All right, good. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and let Jarena Star come in and share her thoughts about this topic, and then we'll wrap up. Or if we have another caller, so be it. But yeah, this is my opinion. You know, I feel like if Africans can just ignore what's happening in the West, you know, they can just not be responsible at home. You know, because they can just be pretending that, oh, they're living the best life in the West. All right. Thanks, guys, for getting on code. It took a little while, but thank you for getting on code because I can't be doing all this for 5 minutes, 5 likes. Sorry, I can't do that. I can't do that, guys. My time is valuable too. Yes, my time is valuable too. All right. So, I mean, and where else are you getting this kind of media? Who's talking about this stuff on YouTube? Y'all got to appreciate the outlets that you got. You feel me? All right, Jarena Star, the link is there. All right, the topic is Africans ignore what happens in the West so that they can avoid responsibility at home. So, okay, go ahead, Drina Star. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
How are you? I'm good.
Fine. I'm just trying to survive the very long
You're so
half
dramatic.
term.
I'm
Half
just
term.
trying to survive.
Darling, this Jubilee is just out of hand, honestly.
Is
It's just
it? Oh, they're doing all that celebration for the Queen.
oh my god, the red, white, and blue is hurting my eyes. Too much. It's just too
Too
much,
much Union Jack.
I'm just used to the whole, red, gold, and luscious green. I'm Pan African,
Red,
so
gold, luscious green. Get it, girl? Come on.
because we be Pan African here. But I did put one of my kids. They put the one Union Jack on my balcony window, and you should have seen the local racists that just live down the road when they saw the one Union Jack on my window sill. I saw them outside. What the woman was shocked. She was like, "Oh my god, is that a Union Jack? Is that really a Union Jack?" She was smiling, and it's like I've won their favor because my kid just plonked that flag. I was laughing inside my house. She nearly had a heart attack. She couldn't believe it. She was expecting a Pan African flag, and then
my god, that's funny.
Put this Confederate flag on, and she was like, "Oh my god." She's one of us. So yeah, I'm like, hey, Union Jack, Queenie here. I'm the real queen, obviously, but that's what's going on here in the UK.
That's good. That's good. You guys are enjoying the festivities. For those of you in America that don't know the Jubilee, that's like the celebration. The Queen's birthday is upon us, I believe, and so they do a big, huge celebration, obviously for the Queen and national holidays and all this kind of stuff to celebrate. So that's what's happening in the UK.
Yep, it's a 70th Platinum Jubilee celebration, and they have street parties all over the streets, and you see Union Jacks everywhere. So that's what's going on.
Wow. They're going hard. I know they go hard. Every time she has a party, the Queen gets down. Like she be having big parties, all these celebrities come and perform, and it's a big deal. I remember last year they had one going on.
Yeah.
Big party. Yeah. For her birthday.
And that's the mood. But in terms of the topic, you're saying something about Africans pretending to live a life of luxury in the West. Is that, yeah?
Yes.
When they come to Africa, they floss and all that. Is that what you're trying to say? Yeah. Those problematic Africans. Well, to be honest, they can't floss like they used to. Those days have gone. They see
that's true too.
Africans are smart. They can see the stress when you turn up in the country and you be looking a hot mess. That shows them what you go through. It's like you, Gina, when you spent how many weeks in the UK? 3 weeks?
Yeah, I know. Gina be calling me out. She's like, as soon as you travel, I can always tell because I be looking beat. I know. I do.
They say, I've heard them. I've heard Africans say, "Oh, you guys, when you come to the airport, your hair's a mess." Like it's an open knowledge. Like we look like we've been through hell.
It's true. Like our skin doesn't look good. Sometimes we're not fit. Like we haven't been exercising. We look exhausted. I know I look exhausted in the West. I mean, it's awful. I look. My skin gets pale. My condition flares up. And I mean, you don't care. I don't be caring about my hair. You just don't care what you wear.
You cannot mask it. No matter how much you try. For the past 10 years, the pressure on Black people in the West is so strong that you cannot do that anymore. Your physicality gives it away when you go back to Africa. So Africans, know the truth now. They're starting to realize, and even the very strict immigration rules and with the whole making it so hard, like for people of color and stuff.
Yeah,
that news has gone on mainstream news, and I think Africans are aware of it, and more and more are aware.
Some people are. I mean, this late, like for instance, on the post that I posted, I believe I posted it yesterday. This lady, she's a Nigerian. Living in Ohio, and she was just like, "Oh, I love America. It's the best country in the world. I just love it. It's been great for me." And I'm just like, I hear you. And I think too, probably the dynamics that's happening in your nation back home is also a factor too. So there are certain places where people wouldn't want to return maybe, and so they've just adjusted their mindset. Okay, I have to make the most of being here because I'm not going to go back home, or maybe it's not safe to go back home. Like for instance, Cameroonians, there's a conflict going there, so a lot of them are like, migrate back to Africa. I don't know about that, unless they were to go to other nations. What goes on in like the Congo, stuff like that, places with conflicts. I don't know, but I think it's unwise to just ignore what's happening in our environments as if it cannot impact us. I think it's so unwise.
Yes. And there's always been a mistrust, with the Africans, when they're in the West, because they're here working, doing their thing. There's a mistrust within the community. For example, I'll give you an example. Today, I met somebody from my home country. And, I said to her, what country are you from in our country? Because I could tell by her accent. And then she gives me a bone-faced lie saying how she's from the capital. And I'm like, you're not from the capital because of your accent, your facial marks, like you lying to me. Like, why would you lie to me? I'm from the country. I'm from the capital. My people generate from the capital. When she clearly is not. For some reason, she won't give me any information because I'm interested in going in the countryside. But she's being really guarded and saying, no, I'm from the capital. And I'm like, and I'm like, no, you're not. Your accent gives it away. And then she's like, well, why do you want to leave the capital? I said, because, I want to go and explore in the countryside. And then she's there lying when she's from the region I went to visit. So there's such a mistrust in the community within Africa.
There is such a mistrust.
Lying.
Yeah, there is such a mistrust.
She's got her tribal hairstyle, her jewelry, like as if I don't know. Like, you think I'm stupid? Like,
maybe she thinks you're one of those, them British Africans that don't really know about back home. So maybe she thinks that you don't know.
She knows I originate from there. Or it could be because of the case. Sometimes they have a case and say they're this tribe or blah, blah. So they don't want to give away too much about who they are. Yeah. When it's so evident, your accent gives it away. I know what you are. It's like, but there is, they have a problem. Like here in the West, they call it diasporas. They're just in the moment. They're just like surviving, and sad.
I know. It's a crazy way to live. And like you said, it's taking its toll on us. I think the psychological toll is just insane, because I literally question so many situations. And when you're going through something and then there's no recourse and you're asking yourself, like, am I making up something? Like, am I making this up? Yeah. And it's just mind boggling. It's just mind boggling because you're like, okay, wait a minute. Because another thing, my peers would just be so cool. Like, they would just be so okay. Like with situations that would happen that would incense me, but they would just be like, oh, Gina, it's not a big deal. Oh, Gina, calm down. And I'm like, what's wrong with you people? Like, you're totally desensitized to this.
It's totally like mass shooting is nothing, oh, it's not that.
Yeah.
Like the ones you crack me up, like with your peers back home in America and the past live streams that you've been having. You've got these people, telling you how to live your life when they're in the middle of Babylon. Do you know what I mean?
That's what I don't get. But I mean, I've come to the realization that this cognitive dissonance, it absolves them of a call to action. You see, because when you start acknowledging, okay, there's a problem, okay, and then what are you going to do about that problem? The call to action is what people want to avoid. So they want to act like the problem just doesn't exist. They want to say, well, it's not that bad. It's where I live. It doesn't happen. And and I'm thinking like mass shootings are happening all around the country and they're random. School
And
shootings
yet
are
they say
happening all
something
around the
bad
country.
about Africa. They ignite, oh, you African, like, generalize the whole continent and say, you
Exactly.
Africans letting China move in. Proper generalization, when they've got no idea. They've never visited the continent and they've got so much to say about Africa. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's just passing the buck. It's just passing the buck. And I just want to publicly state, it I know what it is. And I'm like, matter of fact, you would be better off just saying, you know what? The US is a problematic place, but I'm just gonna be here. And I'm not gonna take any responsibility at home. I would have more respect of you if you admitted that, but you want to try to like discount the situation. Like, because I didn't really say anything. People, I love my Facebook community because they always come to my aid. So when the lady posted that, some other people got up under her and were like, "Where do you where are you living? Like, are you living in the U.S.? Like, what's happening?" Because you're raving about this place like it's a completely different place than what other people are experiencing, and it's really not.
Yeah.
The truth is you haven't just been touched by that stuff. You haven't been touched by that stuff at the moment.
True, but you see, I mean, over here in the UK, I don't know if you've seen on the news, but people were just filling up the airports to leave the country. Because,
wow.
But the airports could not deal with the capacity because they've been laying off.
I know British Airways been canceling like a lot of flights, and Ryanair as well.
So many flights. So imagine all these people, they booked their flights, they're cancelled, and it's terrible. Everybody, these are like British people who want to leave the country and just they have a right to leave the country, but they're not being allowed to because the flights are just standard cancelling. They just cannot handle the amount of people that want to leave, and it's crazy. It's just crazy. You should see them. I remember, like, during the lockdown and all the red lists and all that, it reminded me of that. We just needed to get away, but I'm seeing English white people trying to leave like their own country.
See, and that's the craziest thing. Yeah. That's the craziest thing is the white people will be trying to get the hell out. Yeah. And the white people will be making moves and everything, but we'll be like, no, everything's fine. No, it's okay. Nothing's wrong. I don't need to evacuate. Yeah, like the Patriots and them in America, they trying to figure out survival and stocking up on stuff and everything. And the black people's like, hey, it's all good. No problems here. I don't know. I don't know why our people want to hold on to something that's so false. Like, you don't have to hold on to something that's false. You can make your own new reality. Okay.
I mean, there's not even that many flights anymore. Like, I saw one airplane in the sky and I'm like, oh my God, the lucky people that queued up 14 hours. Like, people came, waited 14 hours just to leave the country. Wow.
It's not funny. Because I'll be pissed if I ordered a plane and then I get there and I can't travel. That would suck.
They were sleeping on the floor with their families, like trying to leave the country. I mean, but yet the government, likes to create this image that everybody wants to come to the West. Like they like to use the image of Africans dying to get here. It's like, look, this place is amazing. And then on the other hand, you see white people just climbing over each other, trying to leave the country. Just doesn't make sense, does it? It's like,
I don't know. Our people, but I mean, at the end of the day, the law of survival of the fittest is that. Okay, if you ain't fit, you ain't gonna survive. If you ain't ready to see what's happening around you and make strategic moves, if you're not willing to evolve, you become obsolete.
It's true.
And I think obviously the lockdown, it really put a lot of people in perspective, because I know for me, I was thinking to myself like, okay, if they're going to shut borders and do all that, and they're doing monitoring of everything, the UK has surveillance, like it's one of the most, has one of the most advanced surveillance systems in the world. There's CCTV, they can shut down the trains, they shut down the National Express, they put in curfews, so it's like, if they can lock you down like that, and it's like prison.
Yeah. Yeah,
and you can't get
I
out.
felt claustrophobic. I don't know if you remember lockdown, but because it's an island, I felt like it was a prison, and it felt like a prison. It was a weird feeling. I don't want to remember that.
Yeah, I mean,
I
I
mean,
remember I went to the train station. I was shocked when I came in March of 2021.
yeah,
I went to Houston Station, and there may have been like 10 passengers, and there was like about 25 officers. And the
yes,
officers were
it's
walking
everywhere.
around and they were asking everybody where you were going because you weren't supposed to go past your zone. Like you weren't supposed to
Yes,
go to
yeah,
different,
yeah. It was
So they were
weird.
asking people to see their tickets and asking people where they were going. And the trains were like ghost towns. And I was thinking, like, wow, they have, you know,
Yeah,
they have been
I
able to.
escaped to Africa. Then I remember during lockdown, I just said, to hell with this. I got on the plane to leave. You see how people have been cramming to leave the country now while it's summer here. Um, I was just dead bored. I had to just escape, and Africa was popping. There was
Of
none of
course,
these
yeah.
like
The whole
rules.
time lockdown, we was living it up out here in Ghana.
Yes,
Like
do you
I
remember how lit
party,
it
yeah,
was?
I was. People were like, "How's the lockdown in Ghana?" I'm like, "What
There was no
lockdown?"
lockdown. We were going nightclub, like we were
I was
enjoying
out on the town
ourselves.
at the beach. I was like, "Yo, we were living our lives out here."
Yeah,
And so
it
I
was the
made the
best.
decision. I'm like, "Yeah, okay, well, just in case, because see, now that they've done it, they've groomed us for it. So at
Yeah.
any time they can say we're going to have a lockdown, and all of us know what that means. So I'm like, okay, if they're going to be doing lockdowns in the future, I'd rather be here and have my liberty and freedom
Hmm.
than be there and be like, it's a wrap, because
Yeah.
being in the
Yeah.
house, the cold weather, my
Hmm.
gym was shut for like a whole year, all these kind of things.
Oh yeah, do you remember? God,
Yeah, it was really bad. So, oh, sorry, hit
disappeared.
my little
No,
camera.
no,
Yeah.
definitely. And I think what made me prioritize is having a passport, because these lazy people thought, oh, there's no point renewing it. Lockdown. Now, I don't know if you saw in the news, there are delays with the passport.
They were
So
doing that in the U.S. They were doing
it's
that in
the
the
same
U.S.
thing there
too,
as well. Apparently, it's global. So people have booked their holidays this summer and their
and
passports
they don't
haven't
have their
arrived.
passports.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And
I know.
I'm just so glad, I got mine. Our people need to get things ready just in case. Renew your
I always feel
passport.
that way.
This is the least you could do is get that ready if you ever need to leave. There's nothing worse than being stuck and you don't have any of those things.
We just added Mr. Amara to the chat. Hello, Mr. Amara. How are
He looks like
you?
he's in Africa.
What's
I don't
going
think
on?
so. He's got a taxi, I think.
Oh, okay.
What's going
Mr.
on?
Amara,
What's going on?
what's up? How are you?
Good, good, good.
What you got on the topic today?
Uh, I just seen I just got a notification and I said, let me hop on. But I really didn't know what's the topic. What's the topic about?
The topic is Africans ignore the danger in America to avoid responsibility back home.
Oh. You know the good thing is? The good thing is I lost my dad recently, and I finally moved my wife and kids over to Sierra Leone.
Wow.
And now I do Lyft and
I
Uber,
see.
and I go back every 3 months.
That's good.
Every 3
That's
months,
good.
yeah. My next
So,
trip is in August. Every 3 months, I go back and forth.
that's good.
So,
That's
yep.
good.
So the thing is, when they say people are set in their ways, they're set in their ways. You see what I'm saying? Because you over there in Africa right now. I was in a conversation with somebody not too long ago, and they were telling me, man, what you doing going back and forth like that, going back and forth like that? You left your 9 to 5, and you going back and forth like that. I'll tell you, I say, after 25 or 26 years, recently I put all my bills together. Mortgage, rent, power bill, groceries. I was just playing around with them. I put over a 25-year period. You know,
ooh, how much money?
Hold on, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. If somebody put in 25 years of your time into a project, should you be walking away going to Africa with $1 million by now? That's a fair compensation.
Listen,
well, all the
I already said that. I'm like, for all the years I worked, I ain't got nothing to show for all that time and all that money.
They took our time.
Give you a 401k. I'm looking at my 401k right now from my job, $65,000, right? But I can't do anything to it till I'm 65.
Exactly.
And now I just turned 44. So how many years before I touch that? You know? So if I didn't keep up with my own plan, going back and forth, so all they would have got for me is a paycheck and pay my bills on
and that's how it goes. And that's how it goes. That's how it goes.
So some people, when they're stuck in their ways like that, when you're trying to move them to something that's so uncomfortable, you know, you done been doing that for so long that when you say Africa, oh no, that's uncomfortable. When I went, they told me, this is what they told me, oh, in 2 weeks, you're going to get bored. You're going to be running to come back to America for what? What am I going to get bored? In 2 weeks, you're going to get bored. You want to come back to America.
And do what?
And do what? For what? To pay bills? To pay bills? So I'm excited to run over here to pay bills.
That's it. Get back up to alarm clocks.
No, that's what I'm missing.
You know, no beach, no fun.
That's what I'm missing.
What joy? What fun? Your joy annoys them.
I'm telling you, Mr. Amar, you said it all. I was talking about that the other day. I'm like, for all them years that we put in, you know, because I got my very first job on my 15th birthday. I went to the grocery store in my neighborhood and I got like a little job. So I have been working over 20 years now. I don't have no retirement, no $1 million, no none of that to show for my time, you know? And then they want me to be doing that forever, like you said. 65 for my generation, they done push it up to like 60, 67 or something like that. So and with the stress in the West, plus all the violence, the police brutality, I mean, you might not even get there. You might not even live to see your retirement.
You put in all this time for what?
For what?
For what?
And then, like you come up with a convenient way. Like, you want to go home. You want to spend more time at home. You want to enjoy Africa. So you had to get you had to get creative, because what they offer you, if you're working in an office in America, you might get 2 weeks of vacation in a year. That's it. That's
the only way I could go back and forth, spend 2 months, 3 months over there, come back, work. You know, one of the other dudes, a Somalian dude, he does the same thing. What's Eritrean dude? He does the same. He drives trucks. He does the same thing back and forth. You see, if you don't come out with some creativity,
you'll be stuck.
You're stuck, and that's their problem. They're stuck in their way, and they don't want to get out of there to do it. Even when you do something back home. Like I'm involved in a bunch of little businesses back home.
Okay.
You get involved in stuff like that, people give you that look. Like you crazy for doing that. You crazy. Oh,
you ain't gotta tell me. You ain't gotta tell me.
So what if somebody, hold on, wait a minute. What if somebody take your money and run? If you work on Java, don't you get it back next week? Don't you get back at the end of the year tax returns? Don't you get it back? They're so zeroing on, I gave somebody to be a partner with me. I gave him some money to do this and do that, and they cut and run, and I couldn't find them, and da-da-da, all these new stories. So the flip side of it is to stay here and just pay a bill.
Just go with the flow. Don't cause no trouble. Just go with the flow.
Go with the flow. And that's what one of these ladies I bumped into, She going back. She's big over there now, and she was telling me we was on a plane, and she was saying what she say? People were complaining. Oh, America is hard to save money. It's hard to save money. And these are, you know what the lady say? Hey, I don't want to hear nothing out of you. Nobody asked you to come. Nobody asked you all to come to America. Nobody asked you to come to America. Don't want to hear one word out of you. Yeah. So I'm telling you, if you don't come out with a way of helping yourself, you gotta help yourself.
Yes.
Like what you doing right now, I'm sitting back there watching you record. You do. Yes. I say, if you don't come up with a way of helping yourself,
you gotta get creative.
You gotta get creative. You come up with a way of helping yourself, you're gonna get stuck in the same thing over and over again. Stress. Wake up in the morning, don't want to go to work. You don't feel like going to work, but you gotta go to work.
Yep.
And at the end of the week, you pay your bill. Like, oh, where the money gone? Half of the money. Money gone. This money going to debt. I gotta buy these. I gotta pay for this. Bills everywhere. The money's gone, and then you get an attitude of going to work the next day. You don't want to go to work.
And my thing is this. You know, like, okay, I'm good for. Let me just buckle down. Focus, you know, work towards the goal. A lot of people, let's go to school. I'm gonna graduate. But my thing is like at the end of the day, okay, I need to be coming away with something like you said. And it's not equating. It's not equating.
$1 million right by now.
Man, do you know how much money we've made? Do you know how much money we've made in America that's gone?
Yeah.
Do you know how many pounds we've made in the UK? Gone. Yeah. We don't have nothing. Oh. We've been paying rent, paying our money back into their society. We don't have nothing.
Whatever. So at the end of the day, like 20, 25 years, can I go with a parting gift? What's my parting gift?
You know? It's crazy.
I'm telling you. You don't do something to help yourself out, man. People just stuck there. They say they're stuck in their ways. All they do is work, pay bills, work. Work, pay bills, work, pay bills, work, pay. Come on now. You go out of double real. And then the weekend, you take your car out to the shop, it's a line.
Man.
You go to the grocery store, it's the little bit of time you got off. Grocery stores is a line.
That be tied up.
You go to the shop. To take your car to the shop is a line. So you can't have one day just to yourself. Let me say just one day out the week to myself. You see what I'm saying? Come on, man.
That's what I'm saying. I couldn't take it anymore. So I'm like, no, because it wasn't adding up.
I'm happy for you.
I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. And I'm happy for all the family members that's finding our way out of this situation because it's not adding up. It's not adding up. It's not adding up.
Somebody was telling me, oh, I done been here 30 years and I was making $70,000. You know what I asked him? How much of that $70,000 you was making every year?
Where is
How much of it you still got? How much of it do you still got? How much do you still got? Come on now.
I know. I saw this when I was in the UK, like a couple trips ago. I saw this really elderly man. He was getting on the bus, you know, so I was helping him with his bags because he had his groceries, and I felt so sad. I'm like, see, this is what I can't be doing this, okay? Because this dude done worked his whole life, retired. Now he's elderly, nobody to help him. It's cold weather. I'm like, no, this is not it. No, if I'm gonna put in my time, I need to get something out of it at the end of the day. That's it. That's it. And it needs to be what you want to do. It needs to be like what you want to do. Like, so me and you, we like being in Africa. Okay. Yeah. So that's what I want to do. but if you live the conventional way, you can't even exercise it.
No, you ain't got that much time. You gotta be at work. Hey, you know what the bad feeling is? So we're going out on a Sunday night or Saturday night and trying to hurry up. You can't even drink too much because you got to go to bed early so you can wake up and do
work.
Right. Yeah, when you get to work, you got to function right. You can't be going to that white man's job and acting all what. No, you got to be correct.
Late. Yeah, you got to be on it.
Yeah, when is that going to end? When can you just say, I'm just get up today, I don't want to work. Or this whole week, I don't want to work. When are you going to get to that point? I'm telling you, bro. You got to put in a time like me over here in America to appreciate Africa.
Listen, man, you done said a word. You done said it. I done said it that right much
time in America to appreciate Africa.
Look, the way I love Ghana, shoot.
Nobody ever take that away from you. Nobody.
The way I love Ghana because of the freedom, oh man. And the ability, like now, if I go outside, I know I don't gotta stay. Yo. Yeah.
But they can't pay you to leave. They can't pay you to leave Ghana.
Man, listen, I done lost a lot to stay here, you know? I'm like, I don't care. Whatever tries to come between me and Ghana, it's a wrap. I'm gonna choose Ghana. So don't try, because the freedom, man.
To come back to America and listen to these white people telling you what to do.
Fucking crazy.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you a story. I said I came back and I forgot myself. I went to a CVS in a white neighborhood with flip-flops.
Oh no!
With flip-flops.
You got a wake up call. As
soon as I went in the door, the lady, you know what the white lady said? Let me know if you need anything, boss man. So I was like, hold up. It was 5 of us that walked in at the same time. How come you only asking me? I turned around and looked at the whole store. It was a white neighborhood. All white. I was like, oh, okay.
I'm back. I'm back. I knew the last time when I came to the US, they crazy over there. You know the TSA.
Yeah.
So they be like, well, how long were you outside? What were you doing over there? I'm gonna check your bags. Who do you know? I'm like, oh Lord, I'm back. Lord. I am back.
You're back in the same system. You're back in the system.
They start questioning you at the airport. Like you got to answer right then and there.
Yep. Right there. All the way. All the way.
Not to mention when you get off the airplane, you see all them white people in the airport. You be like,
yeah,
I know I ain't home. I know I don't belong here.
You gotta be the one that want to sit by you though. You got someone that want to sit by you.
I know.
The flight attendant, no. Can I change seats? They don't tell me that Lord 2 times.
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Thank God for those of us that is finding our way back to the continent. I'll tell you, because living like that the way that you talking about every day, that stuff will make you go cuckoo.
I say if one for the money that I'm making with this car,
and do what you want to do. And do what you want to do.
I can't wait for August. I'm driving every day. I say, I'm counting the days.
I'm going home.
August come in, I'm out again. I had to come to make some money, you know what I'm saying? But God damn.
Yep. Well, it's a good game plan.
Oh yeah. I gotta be on my best behavior, everything.
Well, see, you can in my opinion, that's the way the West is meant to be. Limited time only. Okay. Yeah. You can go there and behave for a couple months before you start getting sick of it. See? Yeah. And when okay, like for instance, August, okay, I'm out of here. You can put up with it for a couple months.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's it.
And yes, because I'm about to be out here. I'm gone. But our brothers and sisters, they just going and going and going and going. I mean, like Jarena Star said, it starts showing on you. You look bad, you look tired, you're exhausted. It's not good for you. It's not good to live like that.
Yeah.
It's not good for you.
When you look at the people, where it was that 5 years ago, you come back and see them in the same neighborhoods. It's like life ain't never changed. Go to work, come home. Work. Go to work, come
Mr.
home.
Omar, you crazy, man. Listen,
when you go out, you go
the
to
last time I went to Ohio, I saw some of my friends, you know, and I was thinking like, damn, in the last 5 years, I done moved to 2 different countries. I done turned into a rap star. I done started a business. I done did all this stuff. And they still
in the same
doing the
spot.
same. Man, I was like, bro, I'm like, they robbing us over here of our time, talent, and treasure, man. They robbing us over there.
All just to be in America.
Just to be there.
Just to be there. Come on now.
You don't even got nothing to show for it.
Man, now come on now. Come on now. Just to be here? You taking all that just to be here? Come on now, it gotta be something else now. Come on now. It gotta be something else out there somewhere. Come on. Come on. Come on now. You see, and you don't know how far back you don't went. You was holding yourself back till you go to Africa.
Till you go to Africa.
Like,
till you go. Listen, I got people over here. They're my age. Okay, they got freaking mansions with staff. They got businesses. They got it going on.
Yeah.
They got it going on. And I'm like, what the hell?
And you people know it. It's somebody I know that's in the music industry. He got his own little booth in his house. And he complaining about the industry so saturated. But if he was in Sierra Leone, I'll be making a lot of money. Well, why don't you go over there? No, man. What? Well, we're doing a lot just to be in America. You giving up a lot.
Just to be. There was a guy. Okay, there was a guy here. There was a guy here in Ghana. He used to live. I think he used to live in Maryland. Okay, he used to work at a pizza shop. He was just like at the pizza shop. Okay, so he came to Ghana and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna set up my own pizza chain. Okay. So he now has one of the largest pizza chains here in Accra. It's called Eddie's Pizza. If any of you guys ever come to Ghana, this guy now he's a CEO boss. When he used to be a delivery dude driver. Or whatever.
It was a delivery driver or what? Or he made pizza. Or he was one of the ones that had the thing.
Spinning the dough. Now this dude is a boss. He got his pizza shops in the malls. Everywhere out here in Ghana, called Eddie's Pizza.
I'm telling you, man.
So, I mean, just what I've been able to do here in a couple years. Yeah. I'm like, bro, I was holding back. I was being held back out there. I was wasting my time, bro. I was wasting my time.
And look at you. It's showing you.
I know. I look great. That's what Dorina, Dorina's always telling me, but I see the difference too.
Where you at? I'm about to give you about 20, 25 years old. That's why I'm gotta give you.
I mean,
I don't know your real age, but I'm about to give you 25 right there. Just the way you look. Africa look too good on you. Way too good.
Man, listen, we look good out here. We eat good. I eat good food here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you be suffering in the West just to be there.
I gotta make some money. I gotta drive.
See you later.
I gotta drive so I can get some money. Then so
you can go home.
In August, I'll be gone. All right.
Bye, Mr. Amara.
All right.
That's Mr. Amara, guys. Yes. Big shout outs to Mr. Amara, everybody. Big shout outs to the African Superstar family. We had Dorina Star and we had Mr. Amara. He's always dynamic when he comes in here. It's been a minute since he's called in. Let's see who else called in. Dorina Star. Dorina, I'm wrapping up. Okay, are you ready for wrapping up? I'm gonna let you come in. Couple minutes. I'm wrapping up.
Yes, that brother was very funny, very entertaining.
Let's do it.
So cool. I done my hair. I'm gonna do my hair.
I see you put it up. Yes, it looks very cute. Your hair is beautiful.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that brother was really making me laugh. Like,
he's very dynamic. He's very dynamic.
Yeah.
He doesn't call in all the time, but when he does, he always has something to add. I mean, he says so many things. I mean, about the way we hold ourselves back just to be there, and you know, the way we just live hand to mouth and we don't have nothing to show for all the money that we made, bruh.
But seriously, big up to him. You know, he sent his wife out there, his kids, and he's working, going back and forth.
Going back and forth.
He's better off. He's making that move. Going back and forth is a start. You know,
it's the move. It's the move. If you have access, then do it. That's the one thing that the diaspora, you know, that's our advantage. Is okay, we have access. We can go in there, tap in, you know, we can tap into the system, whatever, utilize our resources, and then use that to fortify ourselves back home. Duh.
It's the smartest thing to do, and you've been doing that for ages, for time.
Yeah, Gina. Duh. It's like duh. Like, okay, true. Well, if I need, you know, because I mean, realistically, let's say if I need to raise 10,000 CDs here in Ghana, okay, that's probably like maybe close to 1,000 pounds, maybe, I don't know. So it might take me a long time if I'm trying to do something locally to get that money. But I can come to the UK, spend a couple months, raise that money, and then enjoy the whole rest of the year or whatever I'm trying to do. You know, I mean, I've been able to do these music projects. A local artist, it might take them a lot longer to, you know, raise money for their music videos and stuff like that. You know, advantage. Hello, advantage.
Take
use what you got.
Sierra Leone is a beautiful country. I once upon a time I had the, you know, privilege of knowing somebody from Sierra Leone, and I was going to go on holiday there. By the way, this is back in the day. I used to know somebody a while ago. And when I entertained the idea of me going to visit Sierra Leone with this person, my friends were threatening to tell my family she's going to Sierra Leone. She doesn't realize there's a civil war. She's going to die. You know what I mean? Like, this is like straight out of college. I'm telling you, I've always wanted to go to Sierra Leone, but you should have seen, like, it was the most unthinkable thing to do in 2001.
Girl, I know. Listen, one of the ladies at my church, the church I used to go to in Ohio, when I told her I was going, when I told her I was going to South Africa, she broke down in tears and was like, "Do not go, do not go." Like, she was really. I was like, "It's going to be okay. Like, it's going to be okay."
Like, threatening to tell my dad, you know, I'm going to Sierra Leone. It's like, what? Why do you care? For God's sake, you're. I
don't even know. I don't even know, girl.
It's crazy, but you know what? It's been great talking to you, and
thank you, Jarena, for calling. I always love when you call in. Thank you for helping with my show. Much love to you. Thank you, sweetie pie. And Miss Jarena starts off. She done put her bonnet on, so I think it's my bedtime. Getting ready for bedtime for her. But anyway, African Superstar family. This was Unpopular Opinions Live. We did get off the topic. We met some of our family members and caught up with them. But at the end of the day, listen, okay? Like Brown Coat Blue says, it's all just to be there, okay? If you're not living your life wholly, fully, you're not achieving your goals, you don't have nothing to show for it, you should care, okay? And it has nothing to do with people's perception of that place. Okay, so people feel like, well, you in America, it's the place to be. Let's be real. Sit down with yourself. Okay, is it a benefit to you? Are you living your best life? Do you have what you need? Do you have what you want? Or for the migrants, you've already spent 20, 30, 40 years. What do you have? If you haven't been able to accumulate nothing, you know, you shouldn't be comfortable with that. And if you're young, and you're already detecting this, you're feeling like, okay, what direction is my life going into? You know what I'm saying? Bitch, shot what? T. Kelly came by to see me? Yo, T. Kelly barely comes in here no more. But thank you, T. Kelly. Let me read her comment. She says, it's probably because they ignore politics. I do the same when I go to Nigeria. It's heaven on earth to me, but my Nigerian friends want out. Big shout out to T. Kelly. I mean, I get you in ways. Obviously, for instance, the diaspora, we do not have to necessarily engage in everything that goes on in the place that we are living. Probably because of our positioning or our preparation or our assets or whatever. So T. Kelly saying, hey, when she goes to Nigeria, she turns up, she's enjoying herself. But the local people are, complaining about their various concerns and all of that. I do feel that, T. Kelly, but I still feel like the Africans, because of like the American environment, for instance, with the violence, I think they should be paying attention to that, and I think they should be paying attention to what is happening to other Black people, because we already know they put us all in the same category. So, the plight of one Black man is the plight of all of us, really. But I get what you're saying, though. Big shout out to T. Kelly. She's also telling y'all to get the lights up, because I don't even know if y'all on code anymore, but get the lights up. Big shout out to T. Kelly. I'm so delighted you came by to see me, sweetie. I miss you so much. Thank you for coming in. Yeah, so that was tonight's topic, and I just really encourage you guys to always be mindful of your environment and evaluate it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not too late for you to change course, and even maybe for all of you can't obviously move. Some of you guys have your kids there, maybe doing their education or whatever. I mean, I know lots of families that have moved with kids as well. There's actually a lady on my Facebook. She moved with 4 children. Okay. I know several of them. You know what I'm saying? There's another lady who moved to Nigeria with 5. Okay. Single mothers have moved abroad. So, I mean, kids are not necessarily a barrier. And if they are, it could be a better environment for them. They may thrive in this setting. But, I just really encourage you to find a creative way to get more out of your life. Many of us from the diaspora, we can benefit here on the continent. We can have a better life. We can find new talents. I'm a testament. And we have the advantage, what Jarena Starr said, what I concur with, what Mr. Amar said, we can, go back and forth. We have that ability. That also gives us the ability to live well on the continent. We can, perhaps afford things that the locals can't afford. We can live in communities that they can't, because of our assets. Why not? And you shouldn't feel guilty about living good. I don't feel guilty about living in East Legon. Hello? I deserve this life a long time ago. Hello? When I get to my mansion soon with the pool and the vixen, okay, in my mansion. I deserve that too. I should have been at it. Hello? Because in the words of Mr. Amar, and I'm closing out, if you haven't seen, like T. Kelly, she probably might have to watch the playback. Because Mr. Amar called in. He was dropping some gems, T. Kells. But in the words of Mr. Amar, all just to be here. We suffer. Okay? If some of us want to be honest, we suffer. We suppress ourselves. We don't realize our lives. We don't live our best lives. We don't live lives robustly and enjoy ourselves just to be in the West. Just for the bragging rights, for us to be like, yeah, I live here. I got this British passport. I do this. I do that. But if you look at your life and when you get home at night, when you think everything over, or when you do the math, like Jessica said, I believe she said the math don't be math and it don't add up. Doesn't add up. I encourage you to think about it. So big shout out to the African Superstar family. Thank you guys for being with me tonight. Thanks for all the likes. Y'all did not support the stream, but that's okay. It's okay. Next time. Birthday's coming up soon, June 26th. About to drop my new video. Hello. This week. Come chill with me. The track is available for download. If you guys want to get it on your phones and get it on your tablets, please do. It's a hot track. It's a Black Love track. It's my first Black Love track. So I did share a teaser of the music video, which is on the community tab. So if you guys haven't seen the teaser, it's about 30 seconds. It's like a little bit of the video. Please do check that out. Okay, family? Oh, thank you, Ingrid. Man, she didn't want the chat to end before. Ingrid from Orlando. Thank you. Hello. Man, I done put in an hour and a half and I made $10. Thank you. What's the minimum wage in America nowadays? I don't even know. What's the minimum wage? Did I make minimum wage? I done put in an hour and a half. Big shout outs to Ingrid. She just even got in here. She didn't even get to watch the whole show. So you'll have to get the playback, Ingrid. But thank you so much for your love and support on the channel with that super chat. Okay. So anyway, guys, I am going to wrap up because I've been here a minute. Okay. But I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope maybe, you know, as always, it's thought-provoking to you. You know, I just want to let you know, by my presence being here, I didn't even make minimum wage today, Sarah. Sorry. Psych. I didn't even make minimum wage. But I just want to let you guys know you have alternative options, you know, and I also want to encourage you to be creative to figure that out. You know, like Mr. Amara, he's using Lyft and Uber. He's driving, and every 3 months he goes back to Sierra Leone and spends time with his wife and children. He loves it. It's freeing for him. You know, gives him something to look forward to. And we don't have to wait until our retirement to start enjoying our lives more, you know, and or enjoying the continent more. You know, for you migrants, you don't got to wait until you retire to do it. Figure out creative ways to be able to live more of your life now, because life, you know, it's not promised what's going to happen tomorrow. Okay. So thank you guys. All right. I will see you guys again soon. Until we meet again, stay black and true. If you ain't black, just stay true.